Alright, everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So it feels like it has been a long time since I've done one of these read-through videos. I've really lost all track of time and everything else like that, so I can't even remember when I did one of these last. I took basically an extended hiatus from the channel just because of the news combined with my mental health and where it was at, combined with seasonal depression, kind of came up with the perfect storm, as it were, for just zapping all my creative juices. So it's really hard for me to kind of sit down and give any of these videos the proper attention and focus that they would need. And so I didn't want to half-ass it, so I kind of kept waiting to kind of hoping this would turn around. And unfortunately, it didn't do too well in that regard. It kind of just kept cycling through it. With that said, I seem to be a little bit more stable now, so hopefully this mood will last for longer than it has in the last few weeks. With that said, I will have a channel update out as well, kind of explaining this, and I'll kind of going through general ideas and things for the next few weeks on the channels. For the channel, at least, hopes for what videos and stuff I'd like to cover and all that. Yeah, so without further ado, with that said, as you've probably already guessed from the title, we're getting back to my Yona of the Dawn read-throughs. I've been really looking forward to getting back to this. But unfortunately, because the libraries were basically locked down in my city until August, almost September, it took me a while to get a couple of these volumes on hold because I don't have owned them personally. But super happy I finally did. Excited to get back into it. Apologize if I seem like a deer in the headlights with some of this, if I don't remember certain names or events or things like that. I think it's been 4 or 5 months since I last even touched this series. So yeah, I've done my best to kind of refresh myself on most of the big players' names, and like I kind of remember most of the events in the plot, so that shouldn't be a big, huge deal. There'll be minor specifics that I know I'll have forgotten, so just bear with me as we go through it. But I'm excited to get back into it. So without further ado, let us dive into Yona of the Dawn, Volume 7, with Chapter 36, A Spark of Light. So you see Sinha standing at the, assume the harbor mountains. As he's going, the ships in the harbor have set sail. And I cannot remember the pirate captain's name, but she goes, "All right, brats, let's get this done." And you see inside the ship, all the women have been blindfolded and tied up. As you see a sploosh, as the ship is just cutting through the waves. And you see, we're underway. As a creak, creak. And Yun kind of just sitting there with his arms tied in his costume. As Ao just kind of wriggles his cute little button nose out of his cleavage and goes, "Pop." He's like, "Pukyu!" And he's like, "Here, Ao." And Ao goes, "No, no, 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 no." As he chews off the ropes, and Yun goes, "Yona, ready?" She's like, "Yes." And you see one of the guards standing outside. You see a bang, 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 bang. He's like, "Hey, what's that noise?" As he goes inside with a slam. And you see, as he goes inside and he sees all the women still tied up. And you see Yun hiding off to the side with a little blow dart in his mouth ready. And you see a foof, and as a needle strikes the guard in the back of the neck. He's like, "What was that?" And you see Yona just putting a little noose around his legs as she yanks and rocks him off his feet with a gah and a thud. He's like, "You little..." And he pulls out a short dagger. He's like, "You won't get away with this." And Yona's just standing there, just anger in her face. As you see Yun coming up from behind as the guard goes, "You think you can..." And you have a bash. As he does kind of the Star Trek bash with a double fist, or the double hand just smashes into his skull and knocks him down. You have ha ha. Some of the others start taking off their blindfolds. It goes, "Quick, shut the door." And you have a ka-chak. And is he dead? It's like, "No, that dart was loaded with a sedative. He's just unconscious. I only wish it worked faster. He should be out for 12 hours or so." So I'm taking this blade as he grabs his little needle. And you have, "What's going on? Is this an escape?" And you see one of the women. I know we're supposed to remember her from something. I cannot remember her name or how she's involved in this, but it will probably come back to me at some later point. And you see her looking at Yona going, what's going on? Is this an escape? And she notices Yona's kind of shaking. She's trying to grab herself to like calm herself down. He's like, hey, are you shaking? And isn't your ankle injured? Why did you do all this? She goes, we came here to rescue all of you. We have to signal our friends so that they know which ship we're on. Please be patient, okay? I promise we'll get you out. You have everyone going, let's go. It's like, okay. And the black-haired woman goes, wait. And she thinks back to Yona telling her, haven't you ever thought of changing this town? And she goes, I'll come too. I want to help. You see, creak, creak. And you see, put the unconscious guard against the door with his head down, fingers crossed. It looks like he's sleeping, standing guard. And you have, lucky for us, they've stationed their best fighters on a different ship. These back stairs are the only way up to the deck. Once Captain Gijon attacks, the officials on the deck will be distracted. That's when we'll light the flare. Yun's like, can we rely on you? What's your name? I'm glad he's asking the question for me. And she goes, I'm Yuri. I can't sit back and watch kids like you take the officials on alone. And he's like, I guess you're okay. He's like, I'm Yun. Don't get in the way. He's like, I'm Rena. It's like so sassy. And this little one with the rope in her mouth is Ao. And Yun's thinking, where's Captain Gijon? As you have it's like, sounds like the fighting started. And on top you see the pirates along with Huck, what was it, Jeha, jumping onto the ship. As you have Gija going, which one's Kumji? I'll take him down. And Huck goes, don't faint while you're at it, White Snake. He goes, Sinha, where's the princess? And Sinha's like, not here. Yeah, look at them all. Looks like Kumji hired a ton of mercenaries. He really wants to wipe us out. He goes, Princess, Yun, show us where you are. Hurry. And you have some of the guards go on. The pirates are facing the mercenaries now. They'll never make it down here. Those mercs will stop them. It's like, that's true. It's like, huh? You see, hey! You see Yun just standing there waving at them. He's like, a girl. One of the girls got out. He's like, what? He's like, hey, stop! And you see Yun dashing around the corner and pressing himself against the wall. And you see Yona and Yuri standing next to a crate of barrels that they're getting ready to kind of bring down on them. And as soon as they go around the corner, with a grab, they slice through it as the barrels come rocketing down with a no and a boom. As it smashes into them, knocks them out. And Yun, who grabbed onto one of the ropes above to avoid it, leaps back down and goes, sweet dreams, scumbags, as he's about to blow down him again. And you see, you see them all stagger to the side. You have, it's like, Yuri! And you have as Yuri falls to the side as the ship sways and knocks her head on one of the barrels. And you have Yun going, oh no, Jeff, that hurt, jeez. And you see and it don't move as one of the guards wakes up, not fully knocked out, grabs her and puts a sword to her throat. And Yun's like, Yuri! And Yun's like, get back, now! And the other guard goes, you really tried to mess with us, Awa girl. This is way worse than an escape attempt. You're gonna suffer for it. And Jeff, hold it! Aren't we valuable merchandise? If you hurt us, Kumji will... The guard goes, shut up! You need to learn a lesson. Once I kill you, nobody else in Awa will ever defy us again. And Jeff, wait! She's got nothing to do with this! And Yun goes, come on, Yun, think. I have the gunpowder. I should make a break for the deck to signal the pirates. Except, Yona and Yuri are in danger. What if I get caught up there? This is awful. If I'm stuck down here, I can't send up the flare. What should I do? Come on, think! It was not that long ago. I would have cared more about saving my own hide than anyone else. I'd be planning my own escape. But now... Iksu, I've become quite the fool, huh? Because now I have to protect Yona and the people of this town. And he goes, those girls just did what I asked them to. None of this is their fault. Let them go. Jeff, what? He's got really a pirate. I smuggled myself aboard as a spy. And Yun with just like this look of confidence on his face takes out the stuffing in his chest that were serving as his boobies. As he goes, Yona's so courageous. I'm not going to let her bravery go to waste. The guard is surprised, like, a guy? A pirate? Yona's like, Yun! Like, you bastard! We don't take kindly to your ilk. And you see them just kicking and wailing on Yun. As he goes, hang on, wait, I have to tell you something. It's like, huh? He goes, I planted explosives on the ship's deck. It's like, the author's note says, total lie. He's like, what? If we don't defuse them, the whole ship's gonna blow. So I'm not gonna die this easily. The guard's like, liar! I didn't see any explosives on the deck. It's like, we just have to get up there. It's like, of course not. I'm the only one who knows where they are. He goes, once Sinha finds us, we'll be safe. It's like, crap, what do we do? And the blonde guard goes, get the girls back to the room. I'll take them up to the deck. And you see that Yun gets tied up with his arms behind his back. As Yona's going, Yun, it's like, what will you do with him once you find out if he's telling the truth or not? Yeah, chop his head off and send it to the pirates. And you can see her. You can see her eyes kind of starting to glow again as she tries to go lunge forward, and the guard puts his arm out to block and goes, "Where do you think you're going? Get back to your." He's like, "Ah!" And then she's just biting her, or she's just chomping on his arm as he goes, "You little!" And he tosses her off and kicks her off to the side, where she lands next to the sword. And you see her just getting up with this angry look on her face as she grabs the bow and arrows and starts dashing off. She goes, "Hey, wait!" And you see Yuri coming up from behind with a sword. And you see a wham! And Scar gets taken down. And you see back on the deck, they put Yuna on the ground. They're putting a foot on his head. So he goes, "You, where are the explosives? Where'd you hide them? I don't see them anywhere." He goes, "I told you, not here." He goes, "The pirates can't see us from this angle. I've got to reach the other side." And you see, as he's looking up, there's this little torch burning on this little wooden platform above. And you have, "All a lie, huh? I'll cut your head off and send it back to your crew." And just as he's about to, you see a foot and a thunk as an arrow comes flying by and lands on the deck below him. It's like, "What the? Who's there?" Oh man, you have Yona with just this steely look of determination on her face as she's notched another arrow. And you have Yun go, "Yona." She goes, "Step back from Yun or I'll shoot you where you stand." And the guard's like, "It's just that little girl." So they were working together. Some stupid arrow isn't going to save you. And he sees just the absolute fury and determination in her eye. And they just got chills like, why am I so terrified by some kid pointing an arrow at me? He's like, "Yona, hurry, get the explosive to that flame." You see, as she starts running forward towards him. It's like, "What?" It's like, "Yun's flare." It's like, "Yun, where's the explosive?" It's like, "It's in my sash." So as she's dashing by him, she quickly grabs the little explosive out of the sash and starts running forward. It's like, "What you doing? Catch her!" And she goes up and she basically lunges towards the little lamp on the side of the door, and she pushes the little flare towards it, and you see a crackle, and a shoo, and a boom as a firework goes off in the sky and sets off the signal flare. So you have the flares lit. The end of chapter 36, and we get into chapter 37. You see Kindle kind of tilting his head up as he sees the flare. And you have chapter 37, History is Made at Night. As you have, "You stupid girl." As the guards knock her down and also stomp on her head with a boot. It's like, "She's a pirate too. She snuck aboard with that brat. She just let her crew know where we are. Kill her, quick, before the pirates get here." So they grab her head up and they put the sword to her throat. And Yuna goes, "Wait, take my arm, my head, anything but Yona." You see a whoosh and a don't. And you see a giant roar as someone comes flying in. Oh, God, I love this. And you see Jayha just coming in, casual landing with one foot as he does a circle kick and just knocks all the guards back. And you have, my, look at you. As you see the green dragon has landed, as Jayha goes, "You really pulled it off. Impressive." And Yona's like, "Jayha!" And the guard's like, you're the flying pirate who sank so many ships. And he goes, more importantly, if you take one step closer, I'll kill you. If you dare lay a finger on her, you'll see what happens if I stop holding back. And you see the guards like, ugh. They all leap towards him as J-Hawk gets angry. He starts lashing out as he starts sending them all flying back. And Yun's like, I'm alive? J-Hawk's a dragon's power. He's so strong, unbeatable. But me, And you see Yona calling, Yun, are you alright? And you see Owl's just gnawing at the rope, tying Yun, trying to get him free. As he goes, Yona, it's like, Yun, you're bleeding. I'm sorry, I just look so adorable, just standing there like, oh, so impressed with himself that he's cut the ropes. He's like, they just kept hitting you. And she kind of grabs him up and gives him a hug, and she goes, I'm so glad that you're alive. And he's like, Yona, it's like, I can't protect her. And he just starts crying as he goes, you're a mess too. It's like, I can't protect you, Yona. And she just gives him a dazzling smile and goes, we won because of you, Yun. You really are a genius. And he's like, I'm no genius. You're the one who's amazing. And you see a thunk and a there. Capture the escapees. As you see the other ship. Hey, you're looking outside for? Yeah. You see, yes, my beautiful princess here has decided to make a cameo in this video. So you capture the escapees as the other ship slides up next to them, and they put a little ladder on so they can board the ship. And Jacob goes, mercenaries! Climbing aboard from the other ship? You have Yona! And you see Yun kind of putting an arm out to defend her. And you see, yeah! As Sinha lands on there with his blades flying as he cuts them all down. Just, love all these poses. And Yun's like, you came! And Yun's like, isn't Thunder Beast coming too? And Jeha goes, Hawk is the linchpin in the main battle. Now where are those beauties being held? Since Sinha has his night vision and I could jump straight over, we came to help you. But I bet those two are just itching to get here too. And you see Gija and Huck both standing back to back as Huck goes, pick up the pace, White Snake. He goes, look who's talking. He's like, I'm trying not to kill, but it makes things tedious. I imagine so, particularly with that barbaric weapon. And you see a thump, and as one of the soldiers goes down a spray of blood. And you see Captain Gijon going, I know you boys are restless, but since you stayed here, get to work, will ya? You two are pretty much the only ones who aren't exhausted. You see she's just got a bunch of throwing knives gripped between her knuckles as she's took one of the guards out. And you see she's just perfectly pinned the guard using his clothes to the deck. And she goes, the longer you dilly-dally, the worse my aim gets. Understand? The old lady's a piece of work. She has more energy than anyone. And she goes, we've crushed most of the enemy forces. All that's left is to catch Kumji. As soon as he's dead, the battle will be over. Then you can go help that girl or woo her or whatever you please. And Gija's like, what are you saying? And Huck's like, not a bad idea. I was like, Huck! And you see Ra as you see back on the pirate ship. Jayha's just facing off with the mercenaries as Yona and Yun are hiding off inside. Backs to the walls, are observing the fighting. And Jav, he's still fighting the mercenaries from the other boat. So where's Kumji? He won't be far from the merchandise. If he's not on this ship, he's got to be holed up on the other one, protected by his soldiers. You see, Lord Kumji, all our troops have been obliterated, even Battalion 4. Most of the pirates have been immobilized. But monsters have appeared. They've been sinking ship after ship. Plus, the merchandise. He goes, get to the point. And you see one of the guards going, the pirates have seized control of the ship with the merchandise. And you see him slamming his hand out and goes, that Gigan. Gijan. I don't know why I keep going Gigan. I don't know the details, but it looks like one of the women helped the pirates. And Kumji's like, one of the women? He's like, it's that girl. And he thinks of Yona just glaring at him. He goes, there's no proof that it's her, but I can't shake off the certainty. That girl is up to something over there. And you see, they're closing in on her vessel. What is your command, Lord Kumji? It's like, my lord? He goes, shut up, you idiots. I've built my empire up over decades. There's no way I'm going to let pirates led by that hag and a mere girl destroy it all. And you see a toomp as Jeha comes in for a landing and launches off again. He goes, Jeha, Sinha, over there. Kumji's probably hiding below decks on that ship. And you see Yona, help me tie up the officials. And you see Yona as Yona looks like she's remembered something. She's had kind of like the light bulb shock moment. And you see the Jeha slamming the door open with a prepare yourself, Kumji. And you see that he's going into an empty room. As you see a small rowboat just making its way off. Says, yeah, well, now I'm looking forward to tearing them apart. I'm going back to the palace to regroup. Hurry up. It's like, yes, sir. And you see Jeha watching the boat fleeing. As he goes, fleeing and leaving your soldiers behind? Not a terribly elegant move. It's like, So he launches himself off. As the guard goes, he's too fast. We can't run away. And Kumji goes, this is ideal. The Lord Kumji is coming here. So that's the dragon who darts through heaven. So I've always wanted to shoot him down. Ooh. And you see him just pulling back the bow and arrow. As he does, you see Jeha pulling out some of the throwing knives from under his sleeve. And he sends them off with a flick. And you see one hitting Kumji right in the chest. And the other two landing on his guards. And you see, as he does, Kumji also looses the arrow, which strikes Jeha as he splashes down into the ocean. Jeha, he's truly skilled. Hitting the captain that way, like him working for me. Oh, sorry, so went to do Kumji's leg, not his stomach. So he kind of rips the knife out. So you splish as Jeha surfaces for air. He goes, now, you can't take flight from the water, can you? And as he's drawing back the bow again, he shivers as he goes, what? Why did my blood just run cold? Where is it coming from? Someone out there has me in their sights. And you see red hair. Oh, God, I love these expressions. As you see Yona just furious and calm, just knocking the arrow on him. And you see, why? Why am I so afraid of that girl? It's like red hair. Some time ago, I saw another girl with hair like yours when I was at Hiryu Palace. I only glimpsed her briefly from a distance, but I saw how her hair reflected the sunlight. That girl was Princess Yona. He goes, now I know. You really are. She sends the arrow flying, takes him straight in the chest, and he falls back into the water with a splash. And everyone's just kind of watching this in awestruck silence as Yona just kind of lowers the bow. And you have Captain Gijan. Kumji was shot down by an arrow. He fell into the ocean. And you see her just looking at all of his tied up little mercenaries as you see her closing her eyes going, dawn is breaking. So you have chapter 37 end. You have chapter 38, the night of the banquet. And you have, I can't believe we finally won. Let's take a second here. It's like, I know, it took so long. Are we really done fighting? It's like, I'm sleepy. On a glorious day like this? How? It's like, but you're right. We fought right through the night. It's like, hey boys. It's like, yes, Captain. It's like, you're gonna sleep? What a bunch of lazy dolts. You're back to being ordinary fishermen when you wake up, remember? And you see them all being like, it's like dawn had come. Awa had been under Yang Kumji's control for over 10 years. Its liberation finally came thanks to a small group of pirates. And you see Yuri just waving from the ship as all the girls are finally reunited with their families in Awa. And you see Yona kind of just content, just arms crossed as she's kneeling, or she's God, what the hell is it? She's why is my brain so dead right now? She's on the deck of the ship. She's on the railing. She's God, what? My brain is dead. I'm sorry. She's on the railing. This is what it looks like. You all know what I'm trying to say. Cannot remember the word right now. And you see a swoop as Yun finally takes off his long blonde wig and he goes, Princess, glad to see you're safe. He's like, yeah, and you guys don't have a mark on you. No fair. Oh, that's Huck saying that thing. So you see Huck and Gija coming up to greet them. It's like, you two sure do. So they're both bruised all over. Were people hitting them? Kicking them? And they immediately get furious, like, oh, whose ass do I have to kick? And they're like, oh, you're such a pain. Calm down, you freaks. It's like, excuse me. And you see, thank you so much for rescuing us. And you see Yuri and the other girls going up to the pirates and just bowing in thanks. She's like, we all thought we'd never see Awa again. And they're like, no, I mean, we didn't. And Jeha just comes in, tries to put on his charm. He's like, you're so very welcome. The truth is, protecting you is what I was placed on this earth to do. I was merely following the course of my destiny. And you see the others going, hey, stop spouting nonsense like it's as normal as breathing. And Yuri goes, you were always there to help us. We were utterly helpless on our own. And Yona goes, Yuri, don't forget you risked your own life to help us. I know Awa's going to get back on his feet as long as it has people like you. And you see the others asking, is there any way we can ever repay you? And you see Captain Gijon going, it'll cost a small fortune. They're like, huh? She goes, getting every single person in the village drunk will take a lot of booze. And you see them all go, yeah! As Yuri goes, we'll get everything set up. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. Shouldn't we treat the injured people first? And the pirate's like, come on, kids, snacks first, get it ready. Like, what am I, your wife? Like, we need to treat the injured. And the pirate comes up on him, just gives him a hug, and he's like, dummy, watch and learn. It's pirate tradition to drink and have a wild party on the night of victory. It's like, but it's daytime. And Huck just smirks. And he's like, I'm up for it. Like, don't overdo it, Thunder Beast. And you have Gita just talking all fancy. He's like, I do so love a good banquet. Where are the dancers and musicians? We always had a dragon dance at my birthday parties. Yona's like, I can't wait for the music and shows. And Yona's like, no one asked you, rich kids. And you see Sinha off to the side, feeding Awa. Feeding Awa, who's just nibbling on his finger. He's like, Pukyu! He's like, don't eat Sinha! He's like, don't worry, Yona. It's like, this is a special day. And Jeha goes, the sweet taste of victory here in this charming port with its gorgeous women. Let us celebrate this day. In its honor, permit me to share this beauty with you. As he starts stripping off, and you see this giant wound that he's bleeding from. Yes, a giant wound that he's bleeding from. Like, no music, get lost, you perv. It's like, you're bleeding all over, go meet your maker. And you see the booze is here. It's like, well done, you. It's like, kiddo, where's the food? And you see Yun just bandaging up J-Ho, still casually just flirting. He's like, ask someone who cares. And you see one of the old men coming up and going, thank you for rescuing my daughter. It's like, relax, old man, come drink with us. It's like, are you sure? Like, sure, don't sweat it. This town belongs to all of us now. We don't have to be afraid anymore. Women and children can go where they please. Got it? Now go tell everyone. It's like, yeah! It's like, call a doctor while you're at it. And you see one of the pirates coming and going, Yona, let's have a drink together. And Huck just kind of pulls her into his embrace with a, hi there, don't mind us. And you see them just glaring at each other first, and they just grin, kind of like a bro's acknowledgement. And then you see them start sharing some drinks. It's like, delicious, isn't it? It's like, It's like, do you enjoy drinking? It's like, And you see Gija has just gotten completely smashed, and he's surrounded by a bunch of women who are just like, oh, you're so cute. Will you marry me? It's like, It's like, no, Granny, no marriage. Like, Granny? And you see, I was just feeding Sinha from a little tiny cup as he's drinking. And you see, Pukyu! As the women all come to drag Yona away so they can all dance. And you see later that night, under the moon, you see Jeha just playing an instrument. I have no idea what it is. I don't think it's a shamisen. It looks very similar to a shamisen. I'm pretty sure I probably heard the name, but I can't remember it. And Yona comes over and goes, you play so beautifully. It's like, do you want to try? And you see her just badly making screeching sounds as she tries to play. He's like, you're better suited to piracy. It's like, I can play the koto, and I dance a bit. Excuse me. It was koto and dance, as he side-eyes her. And she goes, "Are you laughing at me again, Jeha?" He goes, "No, no. Just remembering that you're still a girl. You're so small. I have to keep an eye out for you. And you're weak. You're a hassle, really." He's like, "Are you bad-mouthing me?" He goes, "On top of all that, you came all this way to look for me. It's so annoying." She goes, "Don't worry. I won't force you to go anywhere anymore, Jeha. Goodbye, then." As she gets up to grumpily leave, he kind of tenderly grabs her by the hand. She looks back at him in surprise as she goes, "I don't understand you at all, Jeha." He goes, "No, I'm a simple man, really. All I want is to celebrate with a lovely girl at my side." And you see later, "Enough, Jeha, enough. That song's making me sleepy. Play something more upbeat." And you see him going and partying with some of the other pirates. As he goes, "Then go to sleep. You stayed up all night yesterday. Most of the townsfolk are asleep anyway." And you see Yona's just fast asleep, curled up under a blanket. As you have, "No, bring me more booze." Like, "Me too, more booze." You see him going, "And now a lullaby." They start slowly paying the pirates just conk out with a snore. You have, "Stop it, idiot, you're putting us to sleep. Hey, wake up, you'll die otherwise." So then why not sleep? And you see the pirate just bashing his head on the ground. He's like, "Oh, I'm staying awake. I refuse to take care of a drunkard. It's like, I'm not going to sleep. Yeah, if I sleep, this dream will be over. For us pirates, tonight's our last banquet." Jeha's like, "That's ridiculous. Even if you're not pirates anymore, you're all going to be Awa fishermen. Nothing will change." And they go, "But you're leaving, right? You, that girl, her friends, you're all leaving Awa. You're going away." They're kind of looking down, all sad and angry. As Jeha kind of gently smiles, and he plays the lullaby again, and the pirates just conk out from exhaustion. Jeha's like, "I'll kill you." One of the pirates just scrawls droopy eyes before he falls asleep. And he goes, "Oh dear." They all cry themselves to sleep. How pedestrian. But to be honest, it's like, I love each and every one of you. And you see him just smiling fondly as he goes to see Captain Gijon, who's still awake. As he goes, "May I join you, beautiful lady?" And she goes, "Get lost, you scrawny brat." He goes, "Ah, your venom never fails to arouse me. Captain, I see you as the perfect woman. If only I'd been born 50 years ago." And she pulls out one of her knives. She's like, "Is this where Kumji's arrow hit you?" Yeah, stab, stab, stab. And she's trying to stab him in the shoulder, and he just grabbed her arm to stop her. He goes, "Oh, 50 years bothers you?" She goes, "How dare you talk to me this way when you have feelings for another woman, And he goes, "Oh, jealous are we?" And she goes, "Do you have any idea who that girl is?" He goes, "Well, an idea, yes. He just slips and calls her your highness sometimes. Not just any girl would take up the kodo." And Captain Gijon goes, "Being with her will be tough, but you say it's the fate of the dragon?" He goes, "I don't know exactly, but she's not strong at all, and when she walks away weeping, she looks utterly helpless, and yet," he goes, "when I'm not in a position to keep an eye on her, it makes me deeply uneasy. Her brilliance is dazzling. The way she fires an arrow sweeps me off my feet. I was a bit jealous of Kumji for being struck by her arrow." And she's like, "You should have fallen with him." So he goes, "Go on, you weirdo. Get out and don't ever come back." It's like, "Oh, you're so heartless. Can't you at least say this will always be your home?" She goes, "Sure, I'll say that. If you come back with a pickup line that'll work on me, scram, you snot-faced urchin." And he just smiles happily as he goes, "Why, you just fell from the sky." And you see their first meeting as he goes, "Can I stay here? I'll do anything you want." She goes, "You snot-faced urchin. Is that your idea of how to seduce a woman?" You see the next morning, Yona wakes up and is like literally rubbing the sleep out of her eyes as everyone else is still conked out. She's like, "Oh, everyone's fast asleep. They drank too much. I really want to talk to Captain Gijon." And you see the captain is sound asleep back in her room. So Yona yawns and gets up and goes, "The sky's so beautiful. I think I'll take a walk." You're just walking through the empty streets as she goes, "It's all so quiet, as if yesterday's battle happened a long time ago. Did I really help the people of this town? Father, have I become stronger? And she goes, I shouldn't go too far. Everyone will worry. I'll head back now. She kind of crosses a little around the corner, and with an eek and an ah and a bump. And you see, I'm so sorry. No, please. I wasn't watching where I was going. It was my fault. She goes, that voice. Oh boy. Crossroads of Destiny. I can't remember the evil shit's name. It does not. It just completely slips my mind. So you have chapter 39, The Menacing Clouds of Dawn. Oh, Suwon, right. You see Suwon and Yona exchanging looks of shock and surprise. You have a thump, and Yona thinks back to when he killed her father. And she goes, why are you here? And Suwon's like, Yona? And that finally jolts her out of this little reverie. He's like, are you a ghost? And you see her flashing back to you. Princess Yona has left this world. You have the cliff in the northern mountains. I was told that you died. And she's kind of just shaking, and she's kind of trying to come to grips with this, and she's still in a state of shock. And he goes, is it really you, Princess Yona? And you see, why are you here? What happened to Huck? He goes, that was a stupid question. The fact that you're safe means he's been doing all he can to protect you. I heard that Yang Kumji, who runs Awa, has been doing business illegally with other nations. I came to see for myself. It appears that you see a dash, and Lord Suwon! And you see a rustle as he just hides her under his cloak to make sure that his guards don't see her. You have a thump, and she's trying to pull away with the let me. It's like, quiet, keep still. And you see, Lord Suwon, please don't wander off unattended. You have my apologies, General Judo. I was excited to have a new place to explore. It's like, excited? And you're with a woman? And you see Sky Tribe General Han Judo. He goes, huh? It's like, oh, ha ha ha. It's like, why, General, how crude. I wouldn't have thought it of you. He's like, it's not my place to question who you dally with. But is it wise to do so when you're on a mission? Do these things at home. And one of the others is like, please lower your voice. It's like, calm down. It's like, yes, I understand. I'm so sorry. He goes, I'll just bid farewell to this good lady. Wait for me over there. He goes, please be quick. And he goes, and I must inform you, we've scoured the area, but we failed to locate Yang Kumji. He goes, I see. And you see that Yona's kind of pressed against Suwon's sword. And it's our belief that pirates attacked and killed him while he was negotiating with the Kai Empire. Jeff, what happened to the women he was trafficking and the townspeople? Jeff, everyone is safe. And Yona kind of keeps flashing back to her father, and she goes and reaches for the sword, puts her hand around the hilt, and Suwon stops her and grabs her hand as she does. And he goes, that's wonderful news. The citizens here are all safe and sound then. And as we had all heard rumors of human trafficking, but it was difficult to prove, we can thank those pirates for exposing the truth. It was who will take Kumji's place. We'll discuss that later. Anything else, General? He kind of grips Yona a little bit closer. And Judo's like, do as you please, as he turns around angrily and marches off. It's like, General, please mind your words. Like, oh, what a temper you have. And as he walks away, Suwon goes, do you want to kill me? Like, well, of course you do. But I can't die now. Not yet. And you see Yona kind of loosening her grip, pulling her hand away from the sword. As he goes, because there's still something I must do. He goes, goodbye, Yona. He kind of fondly puts palm on her face before walking away. And as he does, Yona kind of just crumples to the ground, tears streaming down her eyes. And she starts crying. Then we have, sorry to keep you waiting, General Judo. He goes, oh, look, you're back sooner than I thought. I didn't expect you back before nightfall. There was no need for sarcasm. And he goes, you have no time to fool around right now. Have you forgotten why you rushed to claim the crown? And he goes, never, not for a moment. Jav, it's rare for you to step out with a woman, your majesty. He's like, right? You've never given a single lady of the palace a second glance. That girl must be beautiful. And he goes, I suppose so. I will never forget her. They're like, really? I should have stolen a peek. It's like, never mind, let's press on. The people of Awa have found a way to move forward on their own. The town is going to do well. So what's our next move? We're going to pay a visit to General Yi Gun-tae of the Earth Tribe. To Chi-Shin. And you see him putting the hood back on as he mounts his horse and he's ready to ride off. And you see Huck going through the town looking for Yona. And he sees her, kind of keeled over. Kneeling over as she's crying. And he runs up to her and goes, Princess, hey, what happened? Tell me. And he sees her just crying. And he looks around to see what caused it. The guy just kneels next to her until she's ready to get going. You have chapter 40, the morning of the vow. You have Kija! So come on, wake up, don't sleep the day away. And she shakes the table where he's just kind of fallen asleep. It's like, huh? It's like, oh yes, I'll do my best. It's like, it's like, what a funny expression. It's like, you look well, Your Highness. And she's like, of course, I'm doing great. So, Your Highness, look out! And she see her tripping over a rock. Now she's about to fall. Huck just kind of gently cradles her and catches her. And he goes, gotcha. You see with a whoop. And she just kind of tries to play it off and goes, I'm fine. And she kind of prances off. Yun, what's for breakfast? It's like rice porridge with abalone. It's like, oh, it sounds good. It's like, I'll help serve. It's like, Yona, don't touch that. And you see her trying to grab the hot pot without a handle. And the heat burns her hand. It's like, excuse me. He goes, are you okay? It's like, I'm fine. It's nothing. It's like, breakfast, everyone. And you see her going out with the bowls to feed everyone. It's like, food, yay! I'm so hungover. You can see Yun kind of looking at her with a little bit of concern as she's obviously putting on kind of a false front. And you see, oh, it's so delicious. You're incredible, Yun. It's like, Yona? No, even though the pirates are kind of taken aback by this. It's like, your porridge is dripping. You see a little bit of porridge dripping down onto her dress. She's like, oops. It's like, man, she's helpless. It's like, look what you've done. Here, wipe that off. They hand her a little towel to wipe it off with. She just starts taking off the outer robe instead. And like, Jonah's like, wait, hold up. You see a thump as Huck comes and drapes his coat over her instead. You go, Huck? It's like, if you're going to change, ask the captain if you can use her room. And she looks up at him embarrassed and then runs off. And he goes, that'll be 1,000 rin per look. It's like, hey, that's not fair. It's like, phooey, boo. It's just about to get good. Jayhaw's like, why'd you stop? And Huck just goes and bashes him on the face. He's like, we didn't see anything, we swear. What happened to her? It's like, nothing. He's like, wipe your nose. You see Huck is carrying off his halberd as Jayhaw's wiping off his bloody nose, and he goes, that's one impressive spear. Or is it a sword? Townsfolk will be frightened if they see you walking about with that. Huck's like, yeah, I decided not to carry it around town. But we've been taking this peace for granted. This is a reminder to not get too relaxed. And you see, as he's got kind of like this determined, vengeful face. As you see, Jayhaw's like, wow. Just yesterday he was in battle, and today he's saying peace makes people complacent. I'd like to know who he's envisioning when he gazes into the distance that way. Whoever it is, he radiates such a sense of mournful rage. And you see a twitch as I was watching with Sinha, as Yona's just kind of walking off, looking distracted. Sinha goes out to try to tell Ao to follow Yona and make sure she's okay. And you see Yona going into the captain's room, getting changed, and she's thinking back to the encounter and kind of steadying herself again. And she goes outside and just sits at the edge of the hill and just watches out to the sea. She goes, so much has happened since I fled the palace. And you see, yep, that's true. You see Huck is casually lying there with his arms behind his head. He's like, you scared me. He's like, you're everywhere, Huck. And he goes, wherever you are, except this morning. I slept later than I meant to. And he goes, technically, I'm your exclusive bodyguard. It might drive you mad, but I'm going to stay right by you. So call for me whenever anything happens. And she looks away with a fond smile, goes, okay. She goes, Huck, I want to leave Awa. Will you come with me? She kind of just pinches one of his coat, his kimono with her fingers. He goes, you got it. You see a rustle. As you see the others just hiding behind a bush peeking at them. It's like, what are you all doing here? It's like, well, And Yona's like, look, Yona, you have to let us know too. He's like, huh? Like, don't me. I mean about leaving. You have to tell us all at the same time. That's the proper way to do it. And Gida's like, he's right, your highness. The 4 dragons will follow you to the ends of the earth if that is your desire. Huck's like, wouldn't it be better if you just went home? And Gida's all offended, like, what? So besides, I only see 2 dragons here, not 4. And as they start bickering, Yona just smiles. And she goes, listen, everyone. I'm leaving Awa tomorrow. Will you come with me? They all smile, just like, of course! And Tina just nods, and Yona's like, oh, what a pain. He's like, huh? And you see as they're saying goodbye to the pirates, they're like, you're really leaving, huh, Yona? It's like, hey, kiddo, you better come back to visit. Even if you die, come haunt us a little. As one of them just smacks Yuan with a whack, whack, whack. Yona's looking around. Huck's like, what's wrong? Like, Jeha's not here. I want to thank him and talk to him before we go. It's like, who cares about Droopy Eyes? She's like, I do. He helped us so much. I can't leave without saying goodbye. You know, Captain Gijan, do you know where Jeha is? So that snot-faced urchin? Who cares? She's like, what? It's like, Jeha, guess we'll have to come back. She's like, I see. She goes, you have everything? It's like, yes. So if you ever need a ship, let me know. I'll arrange it for you. She's like, thank you. And they exchange a look. As she goes, your face is still swollen. And Yona's like, I'm fine. Captain Gijan's like, you skinny little thing. You look like a stiff breeze could carry you off, but you've toughened up nicely. Like, skinny little thing? It's like, I'm not that weak. And Captain's like, oh, please. When you got here, you were delicate and helpless. Not that you've learned how to cook or clean properly yet. Like, better get on that. Who's going to marry you if recklessness is all you've got going for you? Like, none of your business. And you see Huck going, it'll be fine, princess. You've just got to find a husband who'll wash clothes in the river while you're off chopping wood. It's like, shut up, Huck. It's like, remember, we eat fish here, Yona. All you have to do is grill it. It's like, look me up if you can't find a husband. It's like, I'll eat grilled fish every day. She's like, I'll pass. It's like, you're all so rude. Let's go. Captain's like, wait, take this. And she hands her a pouch full of the herb. And Yona's like, Senju. It's like, that'll be handy. She goes, take care of yourself. Wait, what's happening? You getting bored? And you see Yona just kind of looking all saddened. So you have the captain's being all maternal-like. You see, thank you for everything. So all wave by. She kind of walks away a few feet, then stops. And they're all like, Yona? She turns around with tears in her eyes. Goes running back and gives the captain a big, great hug and just starts crying. The captain hugs her as all the pirates just start crying. Oh, I love it. It's like, well, guess they're gone. So that gal wasn't a pirate after all? It makes sense. She was too cute for that. It's like, back to work, lots to do. It's like, oh, here we go. She's adorable and all, but she's way tougher than the average shoulder. She's the one who took Kumji down, remember? It's like, what? She killed Kumji? I assumed it was one of the pirates. You're just like, didn't know? She was amazing. It's like, really? That sweet young girl? It's like, what are you guys talking about? You'll never believe this. You know who saved Awa? And you see, Yona, come on, stop crying. And you see, you're crying too, Yun. You see, Yona, Gija, and Yun are all just crying, faces just tearing up. Sock's like, you're worse than either of them, White Snake. Yona's like, but I didn't get to say goodbye to Jeha. He's like, huh? But Jeha's with us, isn't he? And Yona's like, what? And you see Yun or Sinha just taking out his sword and just chopping at something. You have an and a wham. As Jeha comes slamming to the ground. It's like, Jeha! It's like, hi, Yona. It's like, but I thought... And Sinha's like, he's been nearby all along. He's like, well, I'm free of other obligations right now. so I thought I'd travel with you. At first it was just an impulse, but then I saw you crying while you looked for me. It's kind of exciting. And then there just wasn't a good moment to say hi. Huck's like, once a perv, always a perv. Yona's like, you and the Thunder Beast are a lot alike. Yona's like, but you said you didn't want to be tied down by the bonds of the 4 Dragon Warriors. And he's like, I don't care about the Dragon Warriors. I'm going to keep on forging my own path. It's just that this lines up pretty well with my ideals. For now, I can't let you go without me. He goes, take me with you, Yona. You have Huck just bopping on the head as he goes, don't get ahead of yourself. And Yun's like, he's right. You're not traveling alone with her. Introduce yourself to the properly of the rest of us. He's like, I beg your pardon. Let me start over. My name is Jeha. I'm a beautiful creature with a dragon dwelling in my right leg. Pleased to meet you all. So we get to chapter 41, Dragon, Human, or Both. What is this? Is this a little side story? It looks like a little side story. You see Yun picking up a sparkling little thing. Like, huh? What's this? It's like, oh, you have a good eye. That is the legendary scale of the white dragon? And Jiha's like, it's what? As you see him and Huck just washing some clothes. And you see Huck going, you're hawking your scales? And he's like, I'm doing no such thing. And he's like, So what does it do? Render the owner uptight? Give him a giant right hand? It's like, hey. Yun's like, you'll never guess. It can spark love in someone's heart. And you see them all just laughing about it. And he goes, so the scale is pink, what's the deal? Your scales induce love? Let me see. And you see Jeha just grabbing one of the ones off his hand. He's like, ow, don't just peel them off. And he goes, a scale from the white dragon? What rubbish. How could anyone have the gall to invoke the holy name of the white dragon for money? It's like, Ewan, why would you buy such a thing? I was like, I didn't buy it. They threw it in for free when I bought 2 bags of salt. It's like, it's a freebie? Now I'm even more suspicious. Jay was like, calm down. So basically the 4 dragons are being used to market a love charm. A girl should have this. Sparks love. That's adorable. Might make pretty jewelry. It's like, oh, Yona. So come here. It's not meant as a charm exactly. Yeah, if you're saying it's not meant as a charm exactly. It's more like a love potion. And as Jay asks, what to hand her the scale, he just flips it around back to himself. He's like, yes? Like, what is that? Like, sorry, it's nothing. It's like, yes, Huck? Like, don't play dumb. You tried to nick that. So Huck just grabs his arm. Gija's like, indeed you did. And what's a love potion? They both just look at him in shock that he doesn't know what it is. It's like, Yun? He's like, yes. Let's see what people who bought the love potion have to say. It's like, I made the boy I like drink the concoction using a white dragon scale, and he fell in love with me on the spot. I recommend it to my friends. Anonymous, age 18. And Jeha's like, that's what a love potion does, Gija. So why the scale of the white dragon? It's like, get it now? It's like, that should be a curse potion. How it goes, this country sure has weird medicine. They're probably selling green dragon scales too. Is it medicine or poison? Or type of aphrodisiac? Very interesting. In any case, I can sell it for a lot of money. I'll keep it until then. Give it back now. Jeha's like, you're right. And Gija's like, I trust Yun. And as he's trying to give it back, he's still keeping his fist clenched. And Huck's like, come on, open your hand. He's like, it could be a drug. Let me test it. It's like, open your hand, I said. You just get back to the laundry, Huck. Gija's like, it's so dangerous, I'll hang on to it. And Yun's like, come on now, children, don't squabble. And Jeha's like, listen, only a fool would not take advantage of this interesting thing that's fallen into our hands. Huck's like, and the truth comes out. Gija's like, appalling. It's like, Gija, don't you want to use it too? It's like, why would I? It's like, how absurd. Jeha just kind of sidles up and whispers, don't you want your beloved master to try just a bit of it? He starts blushing. He's like, what? Like, don't you want to hold her tightly in your arms? And he's like, ah! And he's like, if he hugged Yona too tightly, he'd break her back. And he's like, I harbor no such wicked thoughts toward her highness. He's like, do you swear it? So of course, her highness is the revered master of the 4 dragon warriors. Such impure thoughts are criminal. And you see Jayha going, special powers notwithstanding, the dragon is just like anyone else. And Yona is human too. No one can stop themselves from falling in love. And Yun's like, he thinks he's being clever, but he's just betraying the ugliness inside himself when he says we should use the potion. It's like, it's just a trinket to pass the time. Huck, I'll give it to you if you want it. He's like, idiot, I'm not like you. Yun's like, don't make anyone ingest it. It could be made of anything. He's like, fine then, I'll be the test subject. And you see, what? It's like, oh. As Jayha just takes it and licks it. Like it's sweet. Tastes like candy. It's like, and you see Yun just taking notes. I don't feel any different. It's like the merchant tricked you. And he's like, as he thump thump. He's like, gah! So Jayha's like, it is poison. It's like, Jayha, stay with me. Yun's getting the antidote. And you see Gija just cradling Jayha like a lover as his mom is taking a completely different direction. And Jayha just reaches up and like, as Gija goes, Jayha, are you? It's like, things I hate. Rules, chains, the 4 dragon warriors. It's like, huh? What? Hey! It's like, and you, I thought I hated you too, but suddenly you're all I can think of. It's just starting to kiss him. It's like, Yun, it's too late to save Jayha. It's like, subject instantly falls in love with the first person he sees after ingesting the substance. It's like, oh, that's nothing new. And you have Huck just happily going, it's not Yona, so he doesn't care what happens, as he's just splashing in the water. And you see Gija, Jayha's under the influence of the love potion. He's like, what? This is what happens? So I'd be careful if I were you. He's like, wait, you're heavy. And you see, get off me. As he just flings Jayha off, who goes twirling through the air and just lands with a little cross-legged little bump. And then dashes forward as Jayha's like, come, like, bring it on. He's like, just kidding. And he just bounces past him as he goes, the love potion works, I'm going to keep it. And you have Huck going, that bastard's back to normal. And you see the effects wear off quickly if only a small amount is ingested. And you see, hurry, your highness is over there, follow him, strike him down. You see, he dissolves the scale in water as he takes the little cup and dissolves it. He's like, aha, if you're older, you have the right to tease younger folk. He's like, oh, there's Yona. It's like, Yona. It's like, are you thirsty? It's like, Eve, Jayha, watch out. And he said, and Jayha's like, her highness. And you see him just walking back expressionless as he goes, I found Yona. She was practicing her archery. So did she hit you? It's like, no, I evaded masterfully, but I wasn't expecting what happened next. See him casually dodging to the side, well then he staggers and sends the cup of the love potion flying straight towards Ao and Sinha. And he's just like, and that's the story of how Mask Face and a squirrel fell in love with my spectacularly beautiful self. It's like, congratulations. It's like, thank you. And you see him going, help me. It's like, he doesn't come closer, back off. He just maintains the same distance. It's creepy. And the squirrel has no respect for personal space. Even if it means taking the occasional punch, the thrill isn't being the pursuer. Being pursued is boring. Huck's like, so you're pervert and selfish. Where's the love potion? It's like, every last drop hit him. Yun's like, you can't be serious. I want to analyze the ingredients so I could use it in our next battle. Like, sorry. It's like, what kind of fight are you expecting? And you see Jayha just smirking as he goes, that wasn't quite true. There's a bit left. How should I use it? I'd love to see Huck drop his guard. That'd be fun. And you see Sinha just casually stalking Jayha from behind as Owl was just snuggling up to his neck. And Jayha's like, what do you want, Sinha? It's like, you smell so sweet. It's like, what? It's like, oh, right, it's the scent of the potion. It's like, Sinha, wait. It's like, only want to be friends. And you see him dashing off with Sinha in hot pursuit as he leaves the cup behind. And you see Gija coming out later at night. He's like, oh, I'm thirsty. Like, something smells nice. Did you make something? He grabs the cup, tosses it back, and goes, I usually don't eat and run, but just a taste. As he does, you see the thump, as Yona comes up from behind and goes, Gija, I can't find Huck. I've looked everywhere. Have you seen him? It's like, Gija. He turns around and goes, why must it be Huck? He cradles her and goes, I feel so, as he leans in for a kiss. It's like, Gija's like, what's wrong? What are you saying? It's like, yes, you're right. It's like, what? am I saying? And he starts blushing as he runs away. He goes, please stay back. It's like, Gija, it's like, something is wrong with me right now. Please stay away. I'm not sure what I might do to you. Did you eat something bad? Just spit it out. He starts crying. He's like, I did. And she comes and puts a hand on his shoulder to comfort him. We go thump thump thump. As his dragon hand just goes and claps it. He's like, this hand, as he rips it off. He goes, no, no, no. This guy never said that I want to hold you close. And he flushes and topples over as Yona catches him and goes, Gija, hey! He goes, it's true that I cherish you. I love how you get back up immediately even when you're hurt or distressed. Of course I do. But that's because I'm a dragon. I'm a warrior who exists to protect you, Your Highness. He goes next morning and goes, Your Highness, I beg your forgiveness for my behavior last night. I can never forgive myself. I must take my life in atonement. He's like, don't overreact, Gija. And Huck's like, it wasn't your fault. It was that medicine. Excuse me. I'm not offended. I'm so ashamed. I want to crawl into a hole. She's like, you did make my heart flutter. It's the first time a man tried to seduce me so passionately. Huck's like, really? Then shall I seduce you passionately? And she goes, say things like that to someone you love. It was fine, I will. Gija goes, Her Highness is only 16. She'll soon start to fall in love with someone. When that happens, I will be happy for her as one of the 4 dragon warriors. And she's like, what's wrong? It's like, I suddenly feel sad. Did you eat something bad again? He's like, but I don't understand why the white dragon's skill is a love potion. It's like, I know, I'll never forgive anyone who used the sacred dragon's name for such a questionable drug. You see later that evening, Sinha's just like, wait, what am I doing? As you see Ao, who's just kind of glomped onto Jeha's like, poo? And you see, Lord White Dragon, it's been quite some time. I'm a merchant and informant sent from your village to travel the land. You have Granny? Oh, the scale of the White Dragon? Ah, yes, the Elder Chief developed that for you. She's concerned because you aren't married yet. But you left the village on the very day it was completed, so why not turn a profit? Granny's just making drugs. Alright. That was the end of the volume. Some quick thoughts, I guess, before I wrap it up, because this video went over an hour. Good conclusion to the Awa arc. I'm glad that Yona's the one that got to deliver the final blow on Kumji, and I'm glad that we're finally seeing her start to be more proactive and more, confident in her abilities and her skills, and that she's not always kind of cowering in fear as much now. More so when she's protecting people than when she's alone, but it's nice to see kind of that gradual progression in her character as she's learning and growing, like the captain noted. I'll have to go back and revisit the earlier volumes before I pass any kind of judgment on Jeha and like what his overall arc is. Right now I'm kind of like, I like him, but I don't have a solid opinion on how I feel about him just yet. I was not expecting Suwon to show up and for the reunion to happen and for him to find out that Yona was alive just yet, but I do think the interaction was handled really well, like especially Yona's kind of I don't want to say flip-flopping yet, but Yona's kind of indecision about how to react to him, whether it's anger and all that. I think that's one of the things that was really well done, given how complicated the relationship has been up to that point, even though he did do something, so horrific to her. So I'm interested in seeing more of his character being developed and his motivations kind of coming to light. Because this chapter and his interactions with Yona kind of gave me vibes of, he's going to become a little bit more complex and morally gray than his actions would suggest. I'm kind of interested in seeing what direction that will be taken. But apart from that, great volume. I love the little comedy chapter at the end. That was a lot of fun. It was a nice break from everything else. Can't wait to get to the next little adventure and see what's going to happen with that there. I'll try to get to volume 8 either tomorrow or Friday, depending on time. Also, I'll have the channel update out by sometime, hopefully in the next 2 days or so. And as always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really appreciate all of that. Thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.